Hello, my friends. I am Cindy Ola. I'm going to make this video quick for you. We're going to talk about our emotions, how our emotions affect our frequency and our vibrational state, and then how that, of course, affects the outcome and the way that we're being received in the world. I printed out this emotional guidance scale that I found on the internet, and it shows the different frequencies of each of the more common emotions that we experience. We have shame, that's at the bottom, vibrating at around the frequency of 20. And of course, we have enlightenment all the way at the top, which vibrates at a 700 and above. You can see that love is at about 500. We got anger at 150, and we have fear that's at about 100. The bottom, of course, is more contracted, and the top is more expanded. And what I see happening, or what I feel that we are all experiencing right now, especially during this golden age of transformation, is that a lot of shadow emotions are being pulled up. And as we've talked about before in other videos, your shadow emotions are aspects of you that you have suppressed or have been pushed down into the subconscious. Well, there's nothing like a pandemic and a social revolution to trigger some of those shadow emotions. And what we see coming up right now a lot is this fear and anger, especially in what we're all experiencing right now with the divisiveness and the polarity going on with the world. Is that there's a lot of beautiful things happening. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of compassion. You know, this planetary state that we're in is breaking people open so that they can vibrate at these higher frequencies of peace and joy and love and reason. But what I find for the people who are stuck down here in the anger and fear is that they're expecting their anger and fear to produce love or reason or acceptance. And that's usually not the way it works. So for instance, if you are in the frequency of, let's say, anger and fear, which vibrates down here at about 100 or 150, and you say things from that vibrational state, or you make a video from that anger or fear, or you take action from that anger and fear, the output of that, the way that that's going to be received is in the vibration of anger and fear. So it's going to be at about 150 to 100. You can't expect that to produce love. You see, that's too high of a leap up the scale. Usually when we are trying to work our way up the scale, we have to work our way up gradually. Sometimes we can take a big leap, but that takes like a Kundalini experience or a Kundalini awakening. You know, usually we work ourselves up. If you find yourself in these lower vibrational states, we're not asking you to bypass that. Absolutely not. Part of the reason I think that we're experiencing this little mini revolution that we're having is so that it can crack us open, so that it reveals our shadows. I feel like humanity collectively is going through a shadow period. And in turn, for us to be able to alchemize, to heal, to raise our frequency, to awaken to our fullest potential, to awaken to our most magical self, so that we can show up in the world that way. We can show up with more understanding, with more reason, with more compassion, and more kindness. However, we do need to work our way up the scale. We can't expect to be down here somewhere and thinking that we're going to get reason in return. I mean, I'm not saying that that's impossible. You might come across, like if you've prayed enough, you might come across someone with love who can help you ascend. But most likely, if you're in anger or fear, you're going to be a magnet for others who are in that same vibrational point that you are, which is why it's so important that we take responsibility for our emotions, for our vibrational state, for what we're putting out there in the world, especially right now, so that we can be a vessel or a chalice for healing and awakening and expanding consciousness instead of contracting consciousness. It's important that we do our own work. It's the most important thing that you can do is to take responsibility for yourself, because you do matter. And what you say and what you feel matters, and you can make a difference. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.